I believe there is a path that leads to life beyond death. Why am I so confident of this? Because Christ makes 4 claims that no other God, no other human makes. And this package of 4 claims is why I urge you to reconsider Christ. So, I believe there is a path that leads to life beyond death.
So here's how we know. Claim number 1, Christ identifies as the Son of God. Proof number 1, Christ heals the sick and raises the dead. Now, people doubted this claim from the beginning of Christ's ministry. The powerful religious leaders, John the Baptist, and even the most well-known disciple, Peter, all resisted Christ's teachings that he was the Son of God. All the while, Jesus just kept healing and healing and healing. So powerful were the healings that no one denied they happened. Why did the religious leaders fear Christ? 2 reasons. The religious leaders feared their positions of honor and wealth would evaporate if Christ's teachings were accepted. If they were no longer needed under these teachings of Christ, then they were very threatened. Secondly, they had built a symbiotic relationship with Rome, and these leaders did not want anyone messing it up. So they devised a strategy to reject Christ's teachings since they were not able to dispute the healings. The strategy was brilliant. Christ's power came from Satan instead of God. The Bible records, by Beelzebub, the prince of demons, he, Christ, is driving out demons. This was their rationale. Similar today when people say God is hate, God is evil, God is angry. They want to throw all these words at him that disparage his character. The religious leaders did the same thing. They countered the claim of Christ as Son of God and called Christ Son of Satan. Yet Jesus kept healing and healing and healing. The religious leaders never doubted or denied the miracles. Another doubter of Christ's claims, John the Baptist, started out believing strongly in Christ's claim as Son of God. He preached to all who would listen that Christ was coming and then pointed Jesus out in a crowd. Months later, John runs into some problems. He tells Herod, the Roman governor, that he is living in sin, and Herod throws him in jail. John's thinking now, super. I did exactly as God asked, and here I am in a dark, wet jail cell. He begins to doubt Christ as his life is not going as he expected. So John the Baptist sends his disciples to Christ to ask if he really is the Messiah. Christ answers with an Old Testament prophecy describing what to expect from the Christ. Go back and report to John what you have seen and heard. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cured, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is preached to the poor. What Jesus is saying to John is, John, listen to the prophecies. I'm healing. I'm preaching the good news. The miracles are declaiming that I am the Son of God. In a similar fashion, one of Christ's closest friends experienced a similar struggle with Christ as Son of God. Just a short time before Jesus would be nailed to the cross, Christ asked Peter, "Who do you say I am?" Hard to dodge that question when Christ is looking you right in the eyes. Yet Peter responded well, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." But wait, Son of God meant something completely different to Peter. For Jesus begins immediately to explain to Peter that Christ must be crucified and resurrected 3 days later. This was not the picture Peter had in his mind for Son of God. His picture was one of the Son of God coming to save the country of Israel from Roman oppression. After all this power he exhibited in healing, surely he can save Israel from Rome. So Peter pulls Jesus aside and starts to rebuke Christ and to tell him to stop talking this way. Peter wants to define Son of God. He has some ideas that Christ needs to understand. See, nothing new here. Since day one, most people who encounter Christ's claims begin with doubt. Yet, some believed. Martha, a close friend of Jesus Christ, often hosting him in her home. Her brother Lazarus became sick and died. Imagine Martha's grief as she thought about, if only Jesus would have been here. He could have healed Lazarus as Jesus Christ had done so many others. After Lazarus' death, Jesus shows up and Martha runs to him outside the house. In the poignant exchange of greetings, sadness, what ifs, Jesus looks Martha in the eyes and asks, "He who believes in me will live, even though he dies, and whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" Martha replies, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Son of God who was to come into the world. He is the path to life beyond death." Martha was struggling to understand the actions of Christ, yet she did not let that struggle obstruct her view of the facts. This Jesus, the Christ, was fulfilling all the prophecies via healing and teaching, giving evidence Christ was the Son of God. Of course, then, Jesus plays his trump card and raises Lazarus from the dead. Can you imagine Martha's belief-o-meter after she saw Lazarus walk out of the tomb? Which brings us back to us. Why should you believe Christ is the Son of God? Do you believe the miracles as Martha did? Even non-Jewish historians reported the miracles as a given, calling them mighty acts. Or do you want Christ to be defined by you like Peter did? Do you trust your wisdom over the wisdom of Christ? You must hear what Christ says to you, not what you and everyone else thinks about Christ. For all were presented with the same evidence and responded differently. What about you? Will you allow Christ to be the Son of God? Please don't answer that question until you hear the other three claims Christ makes. Then you can decide if this is the path that leads to life beyond death.
I choose not death. I choose life. Remember what Jesus said to Martha? "He who believes in me will live, even though he dies. And he who lives and believes in me will never die." Do you believe this? Jesus claims to be the Son of God. Did he back up that claim? Yes, he did. He performed the miracles and raised the dead.